welcome to Seasons Change. This is challenge number 5 of our Prep Your Pantry challenge. Well, welcome to challenge number 5 of the Prep Your Pantry monthly challenge. The way that this challenge works is that it consists of one video that I'll post on the first of every month that will include a list of items for us to focus on and grow our pantries together 1 month at a time. Now, this is for anyone that's interested in expanding their current pantries or starting from scratch. Now, this challenge is totally customizable depending on your specific need and budget. You can choose one item and focus on that for the month, and then once you complete all 12 challenges, you can circle back and pick up the items that you left off. Or you can focus on all the items for each week of the month, however you prefer to do your shopping. Also, it doesn't matter where you start this challenge. You can pick right up here with us today and begin with this challenge, or you can go back to the beginning and start with challenge number 1. Now, something else that I would like to mention to you is that we do have a Facebook group, and you're more than welcome to join us. But if you don't do Facebook and you don't enjoy social media, that's perfectly fine, because I'll always be here in the comments section if you have any questions or if you would like to share how things are going with you. Now, on the topic of the Facebook group, I just want to take a few seconds to say thank you to those of you that have taken the time to join, and for those of you that are sharing all of your wonderful storage ideas, recipes, and everything else that has to do with our prepper pantries. Okay, well, that's enough talk. I know that you're probably curious as to what this month's challenge items are going to be, so let's jump right into it. Okay, well, if you haven't figured it out, the first item in this month's challenge is going to be baking items. More specifically, dry baking items. And this month, instead of being an individual item, it of course is a category. And this category is going to look very different depending on your baking needs and your individual baking style. But here are a few examples that I've laid out for you. It might trigger something that you had forgotten that you need to stock up on. So let's start out down here on the end, and that's with different types of flours. And of course, I don't have everything out here. This is such a broad category, but here are a few examples. I have some almond flour, coconut flour, and regular all-purpose flour. But of course, you can stock rye flour, bread flour, self-rising flour, wheat flour. Again, like I said, there's just so many different options on any of these items that I'm about to show you. Okay, moving on, here are some other baking ingredients. Here I have some baking powder, cornstarch, and baking soda. In the back, I have some non-fat dry milk. This is a good item to have in your preps for many purposes, so now is a great time to take the opportunity to stock up on dry milk. This one bag of white granulated sugar is going to represent all the different kinds of sugars that are in our dry baked goods, such as powdered sugar, the different types of brown sugar. So sugar is something that you may want to stock up on. And then finally, I have some different types of yeast here. This is Fleischmann's active dry yeast. Here is Red Star quick rise yeast. And then I have a block here of Fleischmann's instant yeast. If you're interested in any of these, I will link these products down below. I say that specifically about the yeast because we all know firsthand at the beginning of this pandemic how hard it was to get our hands on yeast and flour. So now may be a great opportunity to stock up on those items. And there are many ways that you can store these to extend that shelf life. For example, I keep my yeast in the refrigerator and the freezer, and that prolongs the life of that. Sugar, basically any items that you see here can be vacuum sealed, or you can stock up in a 5-gallon bucket. You can put them in Mylar bags. There's just so many ways that you can extend the life of these dry goods. And don't let anyone tell you that you're crazy for extending the life on these dry goods, because we all know that whenever it comes to baking, if you do this on a regular basis at all, it takes a lot of flour just to make one loaf of bread. So stocking up on these items is a very smart thing to do. And if you can develop ways and learn the techniques to prolong the life of these items, that's an even smarter idea. So don't be discouraged and don't be afraid. Just to start with, buying these straight off the shelf, they're going to last you safely in your pantry for at least 1 to 2 years. But if you come across a good sale, or you prefer to buy these in bulk, then it's good to have a few different techniques on how you can properly store these items and prolong the life. Well, that's going to do it for this first category. Now let's move on to the next. Okay, well, here we are with the second category in this month's challenge, and it's going to be the beauty category. Okay, so the beauty category is going to, again, look very different for everyone, but just to give you a few examples and to get your wheels turning, I have some different categories here that you may want to focus on. The first one is hair. So whatever beauty items you like to use in your hair, whether that's a mousse, a gel, if you color your hair. I personally gave up the dye last January, so a little over a year for me. But anyway, if you still color, there's always that. Dry shampoos, mousses, just whatever extra items you like to use on a regular basis other than the shampoo and conditioners. Next, I have some examples of items that you may want for your face and your skin. And here's just like a serum, a moisturizer, a mask, whatever makeup you use. Also for the skin, we have a couple different kinds of lotions for all over body. And then, of course, whatever applicators that you use to apply these products, whether it's cotton balls, pads, brushes for your makeup. It's always good to have backup on all of these items. The next category that I have here is nails. So to have like a little travel manicure kit is always good to have. A couple bottles of your nail polish remover, but nail clippers, files, whatever you need for that. And then for the men, other than lotions and beard oils, any type of special items outside of soap, shampoo, conditioners that the men like to use. Here's one example, and that would be shaving items. So shave creams, whichever type of razor that you may use, if you need refills for those, or if you use the disposables. So here's just some examples. Again, this category is going to look very different for everyone depending on what you like to use or if you use anything at all. But this is a great opportunity to spend this month focusing on having a few backups on these. So this is going to be the second and final category for this month's challenge. And I'm only giving you two because, as you can see, both of these categories are very broad. And I want you to be able to really focus on these. Not to mention, this category alone can be some of the most expensive items that are added to your grocery list. So I wanted to put it out there so that even if you're not able to get everything that you use, at least you know that this too is a category that you may want to focus on whenever you're building a backup stockpile on certain items. So there you have it for this month's Prep Your Pantry Challenge. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you'll take a second to do so, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, be strong, be safe, and be prepared. Bye.